guys, and welcome to the Watchtower Watch Views with your host DK, and today we're looking at a Microbrand watch, specifically by the company Pompeak. So Pompeak are a British brand. They're British designed, although most likely assembled and manufactured in China, as many of these microbrands are. But I reached out to them on Instagram and saw that they had a dive watch, and I said, would you like me to review it? And they said, no, we actually have enough of that, but would you like to review a different watch we had? I said, of course, yeah, absolutely. And they sent me on what we're going to go through in the review. So it wouldn't be the kind of thing I would normally look at, but I said I would give it a fair chance. I would look at it with fresh eyes and see maybe it could tug at my heartstrings, pun very much intended, as you'll see later on, because it is an open heart movement. But let's see if it is something that I'd be interested in keeping in my collection. Let's take a look. So big thanks to Pompeak for sending this one in to me. There is actually a discount code if you want. It is Watchtower 10 and you get 10% off. So the price for this one normally is £329 sterling, 383 euros or 457 US dollars. It comes with a cardboard or paper sort of outer covering, this very nice leather effect box with cardboard interior. You get the watch. I was given this very nice blue version. You can see there is also a black dial version. You also have the spare links, which I've taken out 5 of. There's a little tag, as you can see down there. And you do also get the manual, which you need to scan a QR code for, and a little polishing cloth inside as well. Always nice to get a free polishing cloth. So dimensions on this one, it is 40mm in diameter, 43mm if you go across the dial to the crown. Lug tip to lug tip is 46mm, helped to fit down to most people's wrists by those female end links, as you can see there, integrated nicely into the case. The lug width, I should say, is 21mm. It is tapering down to 19mm at that butterfly clasp. The thickness on this one is about 11.7mm, which is what I make it, including the crystal and that exhibition case back. And the weight with all links is 151 grams. However, with 5 links removed, set up for my just under 7-inch wrist, it comes in at 133 grams. So specs time on this one, and it is specified all 316L stainless steel. On the side of the case there you can see that crown as well, 316L stainless steel, that solid bezel, and of course that bracelet. You can see there as well lots of high polish finishes as well. You can see those indices are also high polish indices all the way around, and they are applied. The bracelet is a mixture of brushed and high polish, brushed outer links and high polished mid links or inner links. It is a 5-piece effect bracelet, but they are not 5 individual pieces. However, it does have solid end links and solid links with polished sides to them. They are push pin links as well, and if you take a look, you can see this is a butterfly clasp. So you just press the 2 pushers underneath and it pops open like so. The glass covering the dial is, of course, as you might expect, flat sapphire, so there is no anti-reflective coating on this one specified, and to be honest, when I had it out in sun, I don't think there is anti-reflective coating included on this one, but it is proper sapphire and it was tested to make sure that it is indeed as it says. You can see there as well, it has a screw down crown, signed screw down crown, and if we flip it over, you can see as well inside that exhibition case back, giving this one 10 atmospheres of water resistance or 100 meters. This case back as well has the sapphire crystal on it, it has the automatic movement, and it has the water resistance dapped on it. So if we push that back up, you can see there as well, this is an open heart movement, and the movement inside is a Miyota 82S5. So it's open heart with a small seconds movement, beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, so 6 ticks of a second hand per second. Unscrew the crown once, allows you to wind it. Nice easy winding motion, very comfortable to wind. Pull it out a second time and it stops the second hand, so it does have hacking, and it allows you to adjust the time and also stops that open heart movement of moving. Very cool to see it in effect. I've never actually had an open heart movement. And if we have a look at the macro, you get to see the really interesting thing about this watch is this really nice dial. Very, very nice textured look to it. You have got a printed minute track around the outside. You have that unusual 12 o'clock indices, which is the company's logo, the Pompeak Mountains, I believe. There are also applied silver indices with no lume on them, all the way around single baton indices. You can see that open heart movement there working away. 10 atmospheres of water resistance as well, printed there at the 7 o'clock position between 6 and 8. Small seconds hand as well, ticking away merrily. And those loomed basic fence post, well, not really fence post hands I should say, that's probably unfair. Sort of needless hands maybe, but a really nice interesting dial, especially in the blue that I have. And again, here it is out on my just under 7-inch wrist. You can see there that bracelet with the high polish links, picking up a bit of natural sunlight. Not the brightest day in the world today, but still fairly bright. Bit of anti-reflective coating would have been nice on this one, because I do feel sometimes you can lose those hands amongst the high polish indices and against the dial just a little bit, but still very, very nice on. However, if you want to swap it out, here is an option. This is a single pass Tudor style NATO strap that I got off JC Watches. I can't actually find a link to their website anymore, so I'm not sure if the company went out of business or not, but I'll see if I can find you an AliExpress alternative. Again, it is Tudor style, not a specific Tudor NATO. However, if you don't like that, this is a Watchgecko blue leather rally strap. Very, very nice. I think the blue dial really suits blue. If you get the black dial, you might be able to pull off a couple more different variations of straps. However, I think a brown leather would go well with the blue dial. Unfortunately, all of mine are quick release brown leather, and this is a 21mm, so I can't put them on because they'll just simply fall off. However, if you fancy keeping it on metal, this one is a Watchgecko Milanese mesh. Again, this is a 20mm strap. I do not carry 21mm straps for the most part. It's a bit of a shame because I actually think it looks really, really good on this one. I think it looks strangely at home for something that isn't a diver and isn't fully a dress watch, but it really, really seems to suit the Milanese mesh, and I actually think the company should think about offering it on this more. And check out that Lume. So this is Swiss specified BGW9 Superluminova, giving it that minty green colour. Kind of a mix of blue and green. Very, very nice. You can see there those indices actually aren't lumed at all. It's the outside markers on the minute track are actually the lumed bits, those little dots. Those do fade quite quickly, unfortunately. They were pretty much non-existent by the end of the 15 minutes footage, whether you're looking at the camera or whether you're looking at it under just a naked eye. However, I will say the minute and hour hand hang on very, very well. Something that really is more of a dress watch than anything else. I also think dress watches, any lume on a dress watch basically is a bonus. It's not needed as much as it is on a field watch or a dive watch, but it is always very, very much appreciated. So let's go through the likes and dislikes on this one. I'm going to start with some of the likes on this. So the first one is that dial. I'm surprised at how well I actually got on with it. I didn't think I'd be an open heart guy, but I think the Pompeak has actually opened my eyes and opened my heart, so to speak, for an open heart movement coming to my collection. It's really, really nice. It's really interesting to watch. I'm not a huge exhibition case back guy because sometimes I just don't care, and also I don't need to turn the watch over to see it, but it really looks good. And the texturing on that dial as well is really interesting. There's a particular word for it, but I can't remember what it is. I will say the watch looks incredibly well proportioned as well. I think they got a lot of the sizing on this one great. The small lug to lug on this one and the female end links means it just flows down into your wrist. It's not massively thick. It's great in diameter across the crown or across the dial. It really, really works well, and it seems to sit down into your wrist very, very nicely. Now, some of the dislikes, and one of them unfortunately is actually on the dial that I just praised. This 10 atmosphere water resistance looks like an afterthought. It looks like it's just been jammed in there. They look like they maybe thought that there wasn't enough writing on it and just decided to stick it in. Also, I'm not a fan of that applied index at the 12 o'clock. I know it's the logo. I just don't think it looks right. Something about it just doesn't appeal to me at all, unfortunately. The next thing I'm going to slag off or give them abuse for is this bracelet. I don't think it's very good. I think it's pretty mediocre, to be quite honest. It doesn't look very high quality. It doesn't feel massively high quality. I personally hate butterfly clasps. You get no micro adjusts on them. I had to wear this one quite tight on warm days. My wrist isn't huge, but it did swell up a little bit in warm days when it's a bit hot and sweaty. And the fact that you can't micro adjust this one at all is not great. And if you don't like the bracelet, you're screwed. It's 21mm. I didn't have a single 21mm strap. Now, if you like it, maybe get the leather bracelet, or the leather strap, I should say, but I think the bracelet that it comes with is not good. Also, there's a lot of high polish on this one for something with 100 meters of water resistance. They kind of make it to be a dress watch, but then 100 meters of water resistance suggests that maybe it's a tool watch. And if you have high polished surfaces, it's going to get scuffed up and scratched up. With all the high polish and then the water resistance, it needs to make up its mind if it's a dress or a tool watch. The other issue is, of course, with these Miyota movements is they only spin one way, which means they are noisy. I'll give you a listen. that's a couple of issues, but the biggest issue I had was the price. £329 is a lot of money. For that money, you can get an actual Citizen. Now, this is a titanium Citizen with an open heart movement and 100 meters of water resistance. Now, it's not as good looking a dial, but it is significantly cheaper at €319. That's under £300, and it might be worth taking a look at as an alternative, especially with 22mm lugs. So if you don't like the bracelet it comes on, you have the option of switching. Something, unfortunately, with the Pompeak, you don't. So guys, there you have it, the Pompeak Gentleman Classic. Classic might be stretching it a small bit. I didn't really get on as much as I would have liked to with the watch. I thought it was fine. It was maybe a little overpriced at the price, even if you include my discount code. But I just don't know if it's value for money anymore. It's a fine watch, but it seems to be a little bit confused as to whether it wants to be a tool watch or a dress watch. You can't swap out the strap because it's 21mm. The bracelet it comes on is mediocre. I just think, unfortunately, there's a couple of things against it that would stop me of recommending it as a watch. Now, if you do want an alternative, you've seen the Citizen that I've recommended there. That might be worth a go. However, I don't have hands-on experience with it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you are not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and comment if you think maybe I got it wrong and you think the Pompeak is the best thing you've seen all year. I have been your host, DK. This has been the Watchtower Watch Views, and I will see you guys next time.